Didn't put the headphones on because I wanted to show your ears close, because some of you guys wondered if new ears are going to blend in with my skin, and they do. And so let me just show you what they look like from the side shot here. Yeah, you said it wrong. Oh, right. All right. Let me get this right here. New webcam, please. I hate when this thing does that. All right. There we go. So this is the ears right here. You can see them. They do match my real ears very well. So you really can see that the ears are important because they help me to hear. They actually improve my hearing a lot. Especially in the higher frequencies, and also a little bit on the bass, but not much on the bass. But that's the ears for you. So I thought we'd show you the ears close up so you can see them. All right, now I'll put on my cans and so we can hear you guys. Unfortunately, that doesn't really help me the hearing with the cans on, because of the fact that well, it just doesn't. All right. So, but yes, I have the ears on now. Actually, it does help. It does. It helps funnel the sound to the ears. So let's get the chat on the screen. Let's get over to the panel. The new panel link has been established with the mods. And so I'm looking forward to that. I also wanted to point out an article from Fox News today. Pyramid-shaped UFO spotted by Navy may be the best evidence the world has seen. The Pentagon has confirmed the authenticity of a newly leaked video. An image is showing multiple UFO sightings by U.S. Navy personnel as the government prepares to release a highly anticipated first of its kind of reporting UFOs this summer. Yeah. You already know ETs must exist. They have to. It's just too many planets for just one race or one species of people to colonize. I just really find it fascinating that our military is finally starting to say, yes. How you doing, Blazing Leo? You got the link for the meet is in the moderator chat group for today's link. If you want to join in. I'm not going to post that one here. It's morning shows. They don't usually do it in the morning shows. Now I know. So if you go to the moderator chat group, you'll see the link is there, or I can send it to you directly to you as well. Let me do that. Copy. In case you didn't get it. All right. So let me send this to Lisa and Leo. Last night she was very upset about what was going on, and I don't blame her, because these people were just getting ridiculous last night. Constantly hijacking the Google Meets link repeatedly and making people feel like they couldn't talk to anybody. Right now, current subscriber count as of this morning is 1,076 subscribers. Last night we achieved another milestone of greenness on the monetization and viewers. We are growing very quickly in a positive way. We are achieving the intended goal that I originally created for this channel all the way back in 2011. We have currently, as I said, 1,076 last night now, achieved on one show, less than 24 hours later, has a viewership, against that screen right now, of currently 263 people with a 71.4% like ratio. Now, I know Multimedia Chat has said that the likes, dislike thing is kind of really just kind of a panacea. It's not really anything really important. But I still think that last night's show was an excellent example of what we could do. And already in this morning's show, we currently have, at this point, well, right now I can give you the live numbers right now. I don't have a problem giving you the live numbers right now. The live numbers right now says we currently have 5 watching and 2 likes. So we need, just want to let you know that. We're achieving the goal of reaching out to people. Here's Blazing Leo right now. How you doing?
Hey, Michelle.
What do you think of the ears?
Love them, love them, love them.
Thank you. And you notice that, like you saw in the picture, it does blend in my skin pretty well. So it's not.
And you know what it is, Michelle?
What?
Those pictures you sent in Discord, they look better on those pictures, but for some reason on your screen, your face looks really red.
Yeah,
so I'm thinking it's the coloring with the camera.
It's the camera.
Yeah.
It's the camera setup. It's this camera because the way it's being used with the green screen, I think it confuses the color system. But if I switch cameras, and I see this is a perfect example I'm talking about. If you move this camera around, that's weird. Hey, how come that's weird? It's like, okay, this camera is really acting weird. I'm gonna explain why. It sees me. Hi guys. But when I put the camera away from me and it's me picking up something else, it's still picking me up. Let's think of using a webcam. Oh, that's why. Yeah, that's why. All right. So this is my ears. Oh, you can see them with the other camera. You see how it looks? Yeah, that's why. Because I was in. You're right. This is closer to what you saw in the pictures.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and they match a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as the camera on the wall goes, that's probably because I don't know. We can change that. We can fix that. Yeah, we can fix that. That's no big deal. Let me see how we do that. We're gonna go in and where's my view? There it is. I'm gonna go into the camera tool. I'm gonna go into filters. I'm gonna go to color correction. And unfortunately, there is no way to turn it off. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn down the saturation a lot. Well, not too much. I don't want to. I want to turn it into a black and white shot. Oh, what's wrong with black and white? There's nothing wrong with black and white. It's just, well, look kind of weird. A black and white against the gray screen. Okay, let's see if this looks any better. All right, does that look any better?
Yeah, I think it does.
All right. Now, let's do the same thing with the other camera. Make sure the other one's set right. You modified the one with the chat screen. Oh, so that's the screen you edited. Oh, okay. All right, so let me just do the same thing with the other screen. Make sure the camera is still set right on that one. Filters. Color correction. Yeah, saturation looks good there, too. All right. So, yeah, what it is this camera.
Morning 1610.
It's still kind of a manual or semi-automatic. And so you can see that sometimes it gets the colors wrong. But anyway, first of all, let's talk about the weather. Because you can see outside of Winston, I don't see any snow on the ground. Because it's too warm. I mean, the ground is too warm for the snow to stick.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, I don't think we're going to see much snow, even if it does fall to the ground, because it's just going to melt right away. However, by tonight, it's going to be cold enough to turn into ice. That means that walking around at nighttime could be very perilous for a lot of people because of the iciness. Okay, anyway, I have a story to tell you. I don't know if you saw the news article I copied into the chat group from the other group, but
I seen the topic, but I didn't get a chance to read the article.
Oh, I had a dream that a couple ETs actually were looking for me specifically, and because they know they know of my show on YouTube and everything because they're from a parallel dimension. They're not from far away. They're actually from they've been stationed outside of Earth's orbit for a while, and so they've been picking up the satellite links from YouTube, and some of them were actually of the blood elf type race, and so they kind of reached out to me, landed in a field, and at first I didn't know who they were, and then one person said, "Wait a minute, let me take off this environmental suit helmet." Took off the helmet, and here you see the character Bakila of all the things, but she wasn't wearing her normal blood shadow priest regalia. She was wearing just a generic hazmat type suit. You know, she said, "Sorry about all the hazmat stuff. It's all because of your COVID-19. We have to be careful too." I said, "Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about." So why are you here? Well, we come to fix your ears, your hearing, your knee, and we want to make you happy again. I said, "So you're gonna fix my knee, and I got a show in about 6 hours? Well, we can basically bring you back here within a minute so you don't even seem like you lost any time." Because we can travel to another, we can do time skips. I said, "So you're saying is I would be staying with you guys for a period of about 4 to 6 weeks, and then I would come back here like no more than a minute passed." And she said, "Yeah, isn't that cool?" And I really wanted to watch the rest of the dream, but then my stupid alarm clock went off. I was like, "Oh man, I wanted to see the rest of this." Okay. Oh, anyway, I started off with the dream because it was kind of like a waking dream. So it was kind of like I was still remember enough of it. So anyway, we enter in the ship. Actually, she had a couple people carry me in because she saw that the ramp was a little steep.
Hey, MJ.
And so she brought me into the ship, and I said, "So you're gonna knock me out or something, right?" She said, "Yeah, but We're not going to do it, or we're blood elves. We're mages. I can knock you out without even giving you a jab of anything. I said, because we're just going to take about 2 weeks for you to recover. We're just going to knock you out, and then once you recover, But before we do that, I want you to meet some of the people that you talk about a lot. And so I got a chance to meet, of course, Michaela, which was the one I was talking to. And I asked her another question. I said, how are you able to understand my language? She said, oh, Michelle, she said, I've been watching your videos on YouTube for years. Plus other videos, so I know the language. But not everybody here knows your language. We're going to teach you our language. So they taught me Thalassian, and was weird because it was like it was sort of a natural progression of Thalassian. I don't even understand how I learned it. And then I said, next thing you know, I'm talking like them and fluently in Thalassian a couple of weeks after I woke up from my surgery. And I said to them in Thalassian, I said, well, I got to go back home, but do I still know how to speak English? I can't seem to remember any English words. And Michaela said, well, you should. Let me talk to our linguist to make sure that his little technique didn't backfire. So, of course, he came over. He said, oops, sorry. I swapped your language ability with our language ability, and you can't speak English. So now I got to help you to relearn English. So I was there for a few more weeks. And the funny thing was I woke up a couple of days and Jovia was laying in bed right next to me. And I said, aren't you Michaela's girlfriend? She said, Michelle, my job is to make you comfortable. Michaela want me to make sure you're comfortable. I said, well, I appreciate that, but I don't want to get Michaela mad because she's got a temper. I know. Of course, Michaela comes in, how's she doing? Oh, she's doing fine. Oh, it's kind of funny. You're just like, here is this beautiful little innkeeper snuggled up in the wrong bed next to me. Obviously, because of post-operative care, you can imagine I had some problems to deal with. Like everybody who's in post-operative care with a knee injury, like waste management. I didn't get a chance to really see how they dealt with that. But anyway, the point is it was just a really interesting experience.
Yeah. How did they talk, Michelle? Did they talk like us, or?
Yeah, they talk like us. They're mammals. They're bipedal. Their language is very different than ours. It's more of kind of a singing, kind of a sing-song type language. It kind of a little bit like Italian, kind of, sort of sounded like Italian. Not like German. It's not brutal. It's definitely a more of a gentle language. And so right now, let me take a quick look at this. Happy Friday. Morning, MJ. How you doing? Blazing, did you see typing on silence last night? Who's that? I think I'm blocked.
Oh, that's my one friend that I go on his panels too.
Okay.
He's called into your show before.
Yeah. So the good news is you saw how the the last night's show did in the stats.
Yeah, very good.
Very good. 263 views in less than 24 or less than 12 hours. 1,076 subscribers.
What was it before?
1,063.
Oh, wow. So you gained over 10.
Right.
Well, I know.
Yeah,
I know
Michaela
put your link in his chat.
Yeah, my character's name in World of Warcraft is Michaela. She's also the name of my character in Maka's World, by the way. Also is Michaela. And no, it's not pronounced bitch a lot. Somebody joked about that one time. You said, they pronounce it like, is it bitch a lot? No, it's bit Kayla. Like Michaela. My name in Italian is Michaela. Her name is got a B instead of an M, so it's Michaela. Yeah. And then of course.
So do you think, Michelle, this was just a dream you had?
This wasn't like. Yeah, this was a dream. I don't think this one necessarily means much directly. I think what it might mean, it might be an archetype for something else. But I had another dream which involved a human being that had money. And he said, my goal is to make all your wishes come true.
Oh, nice dream.
and he explained kind of like what Michaela did. What that meant was being a human being, a multimillionaire, he wanted to give me my knee fixed, my hearing, my gut fixed, get rid of my gut, give me the real pointy elf ears, and he wasn't going to charge me a dime because he liked my show and he liked who I was and he liked what I do.
Nice. And glad you're having good dreams.
Yeah, I'm having good dreams. Yeah. Oh yeah, he also fixed something else too, which also Michaela and her people arranged to fix as well. So, to answer the people question for those who really wanted to know, yes, my tallywhacker got whacked off.
Inquiring minds wanted to know that.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. By the way, it was kind of fun laying next to Jovia. Sorry, Michaela. I don't mean to piss you off. She was nice and snuggly, warm. I mean, I felt like I was really laying next to another person. I felt so real. So maybe I did travel to another dimensional plane for a short few hours. I don't know.
Yeah, I've had dreams like that too.
Yeah.
And I'd wake up and I'd go to reach for the person and they weren't there. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, like I said, today's weather is not going to be a big deal. Everybody thinks it's going to be. It's just going to be a wet, soggy day. Again. Oh, here's another advantage of having the camera pre-set up. Rusty, you're not going to moon the camera, are you?
A rusty butt.
What are you doing, cat?
Oh my gosh.
Big kitty. Big kitty. Big, broad butt cat. Yeah.
So, Michelle.
Yeah.
Did you read that article about the UFO?
Yes, I did.
What was it about?
It was based on the information that they actually got about the real UFO sightings and the filage that they're planning to release a full report to the public this summer about what the Navy and the Air Force have noted and seen about these craft. So everybody said they always wanted to have full disclosure. Brothers and sisters, you're going to get your full disclosure. At least as far as our military is
kind of weird that it's coming out now, like another distraction on things.
Well, yeah. But then again, we already kind of known it already existed anyway, so it's...
Right.
It just reaffirms what we already know and what independent researchers have found. Ufologists, so it just kind of reaffirms what we already knew, that there's too many planets for one species of people just to try to populate the universe.
Yeah, that's what I always thought too. And people who don't believe that, I always thought, well, how could you not? I mean, how could you not think that with all the planets just in our solar system, there's not any other type of life?
Yeah, that would be kind of hard to believe. I mean, that goes beyond what I consider reality.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, for me, it's like, okay, this makes sense. I mean, I've always believed in that, even if they were pan-dimensional. I mean, maybe the other planets in our solar systems are only empty because they're in another dimensional plane, and then their universe is populated. Maybe we're the ones who were turned out of phase with the other planets, so we can't see life on them because we're in the other dimension, almost like we're kind of like lost in isolation. And then these are just people that come by, it's coming to our our dimension to see what we're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can ability arm and disarm our missiles, as the reports, the preliminary report shows, it's not going to be too hard to imagine they can master space time.
Another mass shooting, MJ. Morning, Charlotte.
Where's this?
Morning, Monica. In Indiana.
Oh, really? So is that something that people are doing to take off their aggression? Because I wonder more and more if it's somebody just not having a safety vent to get out their aggression out of their mind. Or do you think it's just a good way to just relieve their pressures and just blow heads off? I don't know. That's even more scary than thinking about close encounters of the fourth kind. And you're talking about like somebody, just because they're bored or frustrated, gets hold of a 9mm and all of a sudden starts going off firing. We have drive-by shootings, we have gang shootings, we have knifings, we have sword fights. Occasionally, once in a while, you hear about swords being used, but not much. It's almost like a race is getting so mentally unstable that we're just falling apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, why is it so prominent now?
I think right after all the lockdown, I think people lost their minds.
That could be.
Or maybe there's something in the environment that's causing them to lose their sense of morality or decency. I don't know. That's a great question, though. I've been trying to figure that out for months. Who is Dave?
Dave? Who said Dave?
Charlotte W. did. She said another gun massacre, and yet Dave wants a machine gun.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I think she's talking about noodles.
Oh, okay. Well, as far as the attacks on the shipping depots, I think that the workers there are frustrated because they're overworked and overwhelmed and underpaid. Same thing with the men and women that originally went on to post offices and started firing guns at postal employees a couple of years ago, about 20 years ago, when that's where the term "go postal" came from.
Yeah,
it's
I remember.
It's the same issue. Employees are disgruntled. They're unhappy. They feel trapped in a system that basically uses them up, chews them up, and then spits out the bloody pieces.
My God. I'm sorry, my allergies are just so bad today.
If you want to have a semi-automatic machine gun, that's your prerogative. Give me a couple crossbows. Give me some crossbows.
Oh, I wouldn't mind having a crossbow. Those are cool.
I like the one that Mythbusters designed, which could actually was a fully automatic crossbow. Although George Sprave designed an even better one that was fully auto. And you could actually power it up with a drill and actually just cock, fire, up to about 16 cross bolts a second.
When you say fire a cock, does that mean like shoot an arrow or?
Yeah, fire. That's what a crossbow is. So could you imagine 16 crossbow bolts coming at you in a second? And that's if you're using an electric drill, but you could also manually fire it with a crank too, and do the same thing. Perfect hit around the target.
God.
Well, they got devices to do that, MJ. They have because they have draw pull cranks. See, this one does that for you automatically. That's part of the mechanism. That and pulls back. The bolts that he was using only about 5 inches or about a foot long, but they're fast. I mean, it definitely penetrated into his targets really well for something made out of plywood and an elastic band from a bow. I think what it is the public needs to be more educated. I don't think it's just the gun laws need to be tightened. I think the public need to be more educated, and I think that the movies need to be more honest of the damage of what guns can do in any kind of weapon.
Well, I think it needs to be taken into account that the mental illness in our country has gone way up. So they have to come up with a system to kind of weed out. But then again, that's even hard to do because anybody could have a nervous breakdown, with how the world is going.
And not only that, but keep in mind one thing. Anybody can get a gun anywhere. Ask all the local neighborhood gangs where they get their guns. They have ways to get guns from the underground. And so controlling guns is not going to necessarily be the only thing you got to do. You've also got to remove the glory of guns. People have got to stop being so enamored about something that can cut, like this, the modern electrified Gatling gun that can saw a tree in half with 3 rounds of 3,000 rounds per minute. Seriously, people have got to get to see the real gruesome reality of a gunshot wound up front and personal.
Yeah. And so, it's so weird to me because I did not grow up with guns. I grew up in like the worst thing that happened in the area that I grew up as a kid was vandalism,
Yeah.
We didn't hear about, or some guy got drunk and they got into a fight. We never had issues with guns.
No.
So it's hard for me to see a person's point of view when they're like, don't take my guns away, because it's like, we never needed them.
Yeah.
But then again, I understand they'd want to protect themselves.
But don't forget, the guns have been part of the American life since the times of the frontier. Yeah. Right. You got to remember, out there in the frontier, you're dealing with wild animals. And you may be needing a gun to hunt for food.
Right.
And so people who
to protect yourself from,
from the same wild animals that you might be hunting for dinner, i.e. bear. got to be aware of that. So taking away the guns, and our founding fathers of the Constitution knew. It said that we have to have the right to protect ourselves against a corrupt government. That's one of the reasons why it said that we have the right to bear arms and form our own militias. Okay? Now, by the way, as I said before, arms is not just guns. It includes knives, swords, maces, crossbows, even
Right.
even a nunchuck. Although a nunchuck is kind of stupid. A flail is kind of like a nunchuck too. It's kind of stupid also, especially if you got a short handle flail. You're likely to hit yourself with it.
Yeah.
How you doing out on the wire?
I think because that like you said, we've had guns in our society, culture, throughout time, that it's just too hard to be able to say, hey, take the guns away. There just has to be, and at least in my opinion, just a stricter process of being able to obtain a gun. But then that won't even work, because if you wanted a gun, you could get it from a gang down the street.
Right.
So I mean, there's just no.
So I think what we need to do is we need to educate the public in the realities of what gunshots do.
I don't think they care though. I mean, the education and everything in this country, from what I've seen, has just gone downhill too. And
Public education in this country is
and then
crap.
the mental illness plays into that too. What makes a person want to kill another person? That in itself is sick.
Yeah. Well,
And I'm not talking about somebody who's like
I
defending
absolutely agree.
themselves.
I'm not into, the idea of hurting another person.
Yeah, me neither.
But I mean, there are people who basically, I mean, I don't even feel comfortable with the idea of committing suicide. Never mind killing another person, i.e., homicide. But there are people who do it. That may be the same people that go ahead and run the execution gas chambers and electric chairs for the state penitentiaries, as far as we know. Or the ones that absolutely relish sticking poison needles in the arms to kill you. I mean, I have heard that executioners some of them actually enjoy their job. I don't have the heart to do it. I wouldn't want to kill somebody, but some people obviously seem to have that kind of streak in them that, another dead one. Another dollar.
Mm-hmm.
To tell you something, yeah. It's just, but also don't forget, in the case of the shootings that are going on in post offices and FedExes and UPSs, those workers are really seriously overwhelmed right now. They're getting inundated. Our system was never set up to handle this kind of crushing thing that the virus is doing to everybody's life. The brick and mortar stores are going down the crapper. It's the shipping that's saving a lot of industry. And the problem is it's also hurting the delivery people, because they are being asked to do way more than they would normally be doing at this time of year.
Oh, they shot up a FedEx?
Yeah, there were apparently a FedEx employee, I guess, right?
Was he an employee? Let's see. Oh, and he killed himself too?
Oh, okay. Just like the one in Brantford. And do you know why they do that? Because they know our penal system is bullshit. And that they'll never have a fair trial. And they know they might get capital punishment, i.e., the poison, and they don't want that. So they'd rather die by their own hand.
Oh, they can't. They said they can't tell if you work there or not.
Okay. As a Canadian, I cannot understand why the U.S. mass shootings are getting worse, but nobody seems to want to fix it. It just becomes an angry debate. Well, this is an angry country. Out on the wire. You have to understand there's a lot of anger in this country. And some people just never really master the ability to find another way to deal with their angers. And of course, our media and our, our news stories of these events, we see more and more as an anger issue here, as an undercurrent for their actions of lashing out. And of course, games that glorify gun use. People are beginning to feel that the best way to deal with their anger is to literally take that action in their hands to kill another person. I do find it kind of hard to believe, but that's the way a lot of our country is these days. Right now, Charlotte, your problem in the UK isn't guns, it's knives. And I wouldn't be surprised if even a crossbow or even a stiletto, which is a form of a very small knife, very thin, small knife, may be very popular in your country. You take away the guns, people are going to find another way to do the job. Just like the song by AC/DC, dirty deeds done dirt cheap, right?
I'm sorry, I'm reading something about the stimulus.
Okay, what's the SIBIT stimulus?
Well, it said something about plus up payments, and I didn't understand what that was. I guess people that didn't receive the full $1,400 on this last, the IRS is going to make up the difference and send them the rest of their money throughout the weeks. But I didn't know. I was looking into what the heck was a plus up payment.
Yeah, you guys got the knife problem. You guys get the silent killers. We got the noisy killers. And, imagine the killer decides to coat his knife in COVID-19 germs for you and stabs his enemy, even if he doesn't even gouge him deeply. All of a sudden, he gets COVID-19. He's sitting in the medical facilities, not only with a knife wound, but now with a full-blown case of COVID-19 because the assailant coated his knife with COVID-19 germs. I try not to get too into conversations about guns with most Americans. I understand. But that's one of the reasons why I'm wondering is if like you're saying blazingly about the mental well-being of Americans right now, I wonder if there's going to be any way that they're going to be providing more mental health services for the people who are struggling because of the isolations and the lockdowns.
Well, the problem is, though, Michelle, is like the people who would take advantage of those services are not the ones that you need to worry about so much that would shoot up a FedEx building. It's the ones that don't think they have a problem and think they can self-medicate or stuff like that. That have the problem, and unfortunately, there's
could it also be some lack of awareness of the availability of the services?
Oh yeah, I'm sure everything plays a part in that. But I mean, if you got somebody who's been struggling with mental illness and they get their hands on a gun, it's more like probably a snap decision rather than something that's been building up.
Right.
Like when they go to court and they have to prove like conspiracy or that they planned it out or intent or
right.
A lot of times it's very questionable, because I would hate to think that a person that would plan out shooting up a school of children or
you mean like James Holmes did in Colorado movie theater?
Yeah, Yeah.
Or what
I mean,
happened in
like obviously
Columbine,
those two kids, they obviously planned it out. But what makes a person do that?
or even Adam Lanza.
Yeah.
You know, well, the thing is, the way I see it is this country has a problem with mental illness because of the fact is that we keep saying things like, ah, just take two and call me in the morning. You'll be fine. Next
Oh yeah.
patient.
Oh yeah.
The problem is that doesn't help the person to work out the issue.
Hmm.
You're just throwing a medication on top of them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it almost sounds like and I mean, we got so many kids that are being raised by abusive people,
Right.
people that are on drugs, people that, they were abused. And they're bringing, more and more children up in that environment. And it's almost like it needs to start early, like it needs to start in the school system, I don't even know what the right thing to do would be, because I know people like to blame it on like violent video games. I play violent video games ever since I was a kid. You know what? I've
Yeah,
never
but
had
we
an
know the
issue or
difference. We know
wanted
that
to kill somebody.
the difference is we know the difference between the video game and reality.
Yeah.
But even in my video game play, if you watch me play enough, you'll see that I don't go out there and hurt people if I can avoid it.
Yeah. Hey, way down below.
You know.
Yeah, and I hate it. I hate fighting with people. I hate hurting someone's feelings. I hate it.
I mean, I feel bad for the NPCs. I don't even play PvE or PvP. I just do PvE, but I always feel bad for the NPCs. Here I am going after this character because I have to. And the character is, looking at it from the character's perspective. Maybe the character thought he was right to do what he had to do. And now I'm going to act as the sheriff in town and tell him, as a one-way warning, you're done? Take Hogger for a minute. I mean, for those of you who know anything about World of Warcraft, Hogger. What's Hogger's really biggest problem? He eats too much. Okay. Oh, yeah. He also has a group of bandits. Okay. But in a way, what's he really doing is he's just trying to survive. So, I mean, am I going in there to try to get to defeat him because he's a glutton? Or am I really trying to go in there because I just want his head on a plate so I can get my honor? And that's like, well, I need the honor, but I don't really want to hurt anybody.
All right.
I mean, I try my hard, I try my best to try to distance myself from even the NPC characters I'm going after, but I really can't, because as a shadow priest, I have this ability called mind flay. Now, I'm no longer a shadow priest. I changed my class or my category from shadow priest to discipline priest because I got so tired of ripping people's brains out all the time. That's what mind flay does. It's like forced senile dementia.
You ripped people's brains out?
More like rip people's brains up.
Up.
Okay. Mind flay. It's like giving somebody forced senile dementia. In other words, they don't even know they're losing their mind. You're actually using the shadow work to do mind flay to destroy the brain. And I feel bad doing that. Every time I have to use mind flay as a spell, I said to myself, please, Mother God, can I find something, a classification where I don't have to feel like feel guilty having to keep using the best talent and skill in the game as a shadow priest to cause so much carnage. I don't like hurting people.
Right.
I mean, I like going to the game. I like walking around. I like, occasionally hunting bears and boars and other creatures I need to. But even I feel bad for them. but I don't really want. I really just enjoy more finding the loot and having a good time. But I mean, for some people, it to them it's an adrenaline junkie feeling that you can get from a computer keyboard.
Yeah.
And so, um, in order to take this one mission on, to earn something, I had to change my spec from Shadow Priest back to Discipline Priest. Which I don't mind being a Discipline Priest. It's a compromise. You still can do damage, but you can also do good too. Shadow Priests don't usually do good for free. Um, it's just like Mr. Gold said in Once Upon a Time. Magic has its price, and I could visualize, for me as a player, this kind of damage I'm doing to the poor person. And it makes me really think, can I kill them quick and fast so they don't suffer? Or do I just go ahead, just keep ripping up their brains and making them suffer at the same time while their mind turns into mush?
Mm.
And that's one of the reasons I like being a frost mage. After all, just like Bridget Fonda said in Snow Queen, real cold can kill you. Just like that. And there I am, I have the ability to literally freeze you to death. I guess it's a better way to go if you think about it. I mean, at least you can still keep your memories.
Yeah. Now I'm curious, like out on the wire, or anybody in the chat, what do you guys think that should happen with the world, or at least the United States, regarding the increase of, or just the overall fact that we kill a lot more people than most countries?
I'm gonna just get caught up in some of the back news. I didn't back to our logs chat here. I didn't even get through all the chat here. So
I mean, out on the wire is basically giving out like statistics and stuff with gun, the gun or violence or deaths or whatever like that in America and Canada and Europe and stuff like that. I'm just, it's always going to be a fight because there's so many people that have different opinions about why and what should be done. But I mean, everybody can at least agree on the fact that something needs to be done regarding, these people that are getting their hands on the gun and just doing these needless, senseless, awful killings.
Yeah. So right now I'm just getting caught up here in the videos for messages real quick.
Yeah.
With gun laws, it's not a gun issue, it's a people issue. Yeah, says MJ. Hi on the world, glad to see you. Yeah, he's a character on YouTube. Everybody says he's just part of his long troll. The fact he's get upset talking about the subject worries me that he actually has extra firearms. Says Charlotte W. I don't need a debate. Not triggered. I have guns, but agree that something has to change. Otherwise, says, hey, MG, I just came by because Cher was trying to explain what an outsider sees about the gun shooting issues, and it turned into something totally different. Another channel on Anderson's. Okay. The fact is that you had another mass shooting should tell you something. Oh, yeah, I know it does. And then we talked about if a kid gets shot, and we talked about the knife issue in the UK. Gun politics and religion, says Charlotte W. I'd much rather talk about cats, so would I. Gun laws were our gun laws were changed after Dunblane. What's that? All those little children killed. Okay, that's a school. It devastated the whole of the UK. Right. Well,
I didn't know Mexico. Wait, yeah, James Ligon said Mexico has strict gun laws. I don't know if he's being sarcastic or or if that's a true statement.
Yeah, but the gangs got him now.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely think it's definitely a social matter and a mental health matter. But I think here's another thing too about mental health. Going back, even back into the Victorian era, which some of this stuff still stands today in the stigma. Lock them up, lock them up. Throw away the key. Keep them in sanitariums forever. The mentality existed back then, and it still exists to some extent today. Then, thanks to the creations of antipsychotic drugs, psychotropic medications, the next thing you know it, you go now lock them up or drug them up, and that doesn't help because some people really need to be having access to talking therapy, at least in part. But the insurance companies will support to lock them up and drug them up. But talking therapy doesn't really get much support on most insurance plans.
Well, that's because, the insurances and the pharmaceuticals have like hand over fist deals with each other. It's everybody makes money if somebody's prescribed a pill, but to do, the talking therapies or, whatever, the only person that makes money on that is the therapist, really.
Right down below says stir, social matters stir. And these dumpster countries, they literally beat you to death over stealing a loaf of bread or get you necklace when they cover your old tires and set them ablaze. James says, I remember in the UK having bomb issues in the 90s and 2000s. When visited there, it was not uncommon to be escorted off the tube for a bomb threat. When society loses its mind, it matters not to the message retracted. Matters not to the weapon. Okay, not the weapon. Okay. Um. Yeah. Well, I think the world right now is mentally sick as it can get. And I think COVID-19 is hastening along the mental instability of people. Maybe that's one of the secondary characteristics of COVID is the actions of the lockdowns is causing people to lose their sanity.
Well, I mean, you can't say that because even before this, I mean, think about all the school shootings and everything we had before
Right.
COVID even hit. So I mean, it's been there for, years.
But I think COVID situation is certainly hastening it along.
Well, I'm not saying. I mean, I'm sure COVID is affecting some people and making them go stir crazy or, whatever. I mean, especially the people that are out, that are used to, publicly like socializing, going out and doing things,
Right.
or just the depression alone from losing your job or losing your home,
Absolutely.
losing, things that you loved and valued, that's going to add to it too. But I mean, it's always been there. I mean, it just seems like one thing has been replaced with another.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't make me think, you know,
It's a huge rabbit hole. I mean, you can go so many different directions and have so many different theories about it.
oh yeah, I know. I don't know where it says. I think the fact Canada has a lot less densely populated areas compared to the U.S. also contributes to less violence. That's true. You guys get a lot of breathing room. Remember, it's the southern part of Canada that has most of the cities.
Yeah.
And so
population is definitely a factor too. That's for sure. I'm curious though. Do you know? I don't think China they're pretty strict on their guns, right?
Yeah, they are.
But do the gangs even have them over there, or
I don't
no?
know. I don't know anybody in China to ask.
um, yeah, I'm just because their population is like so much more than ours.
What about India?
Yeah, India too.
I mean, even Japan. I don't even hear too much about gun shootings in Japan. Maybe in Japan, maybe they found a different way to deal with their aggression.
Yeah, I think more likely those countries might deal more with like suicide, like a higher suicide rate, maybe.
Yeah, Japan even has a forest dedicated for suicides.
Well, our country has been struggling and has lost a lot of its sense of honor and integrity. Just if you just look at the YouTube and the content that people
Oh yeah.
have been putting out, and how people are just so ignorant towards each other. Back
It
in the
was like you
day,
said last
if I were to
night.
talk to my parents or my brothers or just a teacher the way some of these people talk to each other, I would have got my butt beat.
It's like you said last night on even though you were later apologized for expressing your viewpoint as you did, you actually
Yeah.
didn't realize how right you were. That
Yeah. I know. I don't like coming off as somebody who kind of gets so fed up and lectures people. I'd rather have a grown up conversation of, but I get, it'll never happen because, the people that are doing this to you aren't going to come out and say, hey, we're doing this just to make you mad. You know what? I just don't I just didn't understand it last night. And I have empathic abilities.
right,
So, I feel your frustrations and stuff. And, I
right.
think it built up in me.
Instead, it's Rachel. She's also a Leo.
Yeah.
You
So,
know,
it's just, I don't know. I just think it's silly that people just can't work together to help. If they say that they're here to support you and you've asked for certain changes, you know, you've never said, I'm not going to cut the comedy out. I'm not going to do this. I just want this to stop. I want this to change. And it seems like they're just fighting you tooth and nail to like not let you control your own show.
right. But what they also don't realize is, like I said many times, is I have a boss. It's called YouTube. YouTube
Yeah.
is giving me specific guidelines of what they tolerate and what they will not. And so I try to work with the rules that they give me, and still allow for some flexibility. I mean, they're the one who send me paychecks each month. So, I mean,
Right.
I have to, as long as I want to receive those paychecks, I have to do what they say.
Yeah. And like I've said many times, and so I see your side, and like it all boils down to this is your channel. You're the person that gets to make and break any decision that what you want to do with your channel.
Right.
But I understand their frustrations too because they like how certain things go, but it still it boils down to this is your channel.
Right.
You could just end it all today and everybody would lose everything.
Yeah. I mean, YouTube.
And that's what's so frustrating.
I mean, YouTube
It's
could
like,
literally also could yank the rug right out from underneath my feet.
right. Well, the only issue I think I have like discrepancy with you is that I think we're a little too worried about the terms of service I think your idea of cleaning it up, I don't think that's going to affect your channel as much as you think.
Well, I'm
Like
a
I said, I've
Virgo. What
seen
do you expect?
people
You know, I'm
that are
always
like
I'm
just
always overthinking.
foul. Yeah, and I get it. I get you're worried about it because you just got it, and and that's why I said it. If you have to be that person to try, and and if it fails, it fails. If it succeeds, great. It's a trial and error basis with you.
China's
And
murder rate is 1.2% versus the U.S.'s 5%. They're really strict in punishment over there too. So
yeah, their punishment is strict.
And they don't go ahead and use a nice poison needle to do it either. They hang you off
do they
a
still
building.
hang people in China?
Yeah, they'll hang you off a building or they'll push you off a building.
Oh my gosh. The law? Or are you just talking about society in general will do that to people?
Right. So, I mean, China doesn't play games for their size of population.
Yeah. And, that also, is another thing, when you put somebody on death row, they've been found guilty by a panel of their peers, and they're sentenced to death. I don't necessarily believe in the death penalty, but then you've got them sitting in prison for 15, 20 years, waiting to be,
Right.
whatever.
And forget the nice slipping you a poison needle Mickey. Just go ahead and kill him in the same method that he killed them.
Yeah.
You shoot somebody, shoot him back. You drown someone. Well, maybe we can make some exceptions with drowning because it's kind of messy. Definitely not. None of this complicated systems that they came up with. This is ridiculous. And of course, like in a couple cases, when the person is caught red-handed doing the crime, he's already guilty. You see him doing it in cold blood. There's not even a trial. Police officers should just take him down right there. Bam. Judge, jury, and executioner.
I honestly think with James and Out on the Wire, I think that all governments lie regarding statistics and everything.
It might be.
I mean, like where I live in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Yeah.
They were saying, we got to lock down. We got to lock down. There's so many cases of COVID spreading. People are dying everywhere. I lived in a huge area. Not one person, not one family over there had any signs, any symptoms, any, diagnosis of COVID. I'm like, so where is all these COVID cases? You walk into the hospital and they're saying, oh, we're so busy. We got so many people. We got people lined up in the halls. The hospitals were empty.
Right. Exactly. So where are they putting all the people that supposed to be infected?
This is stuff that I see with my eyes. That's why I'm saying that I think a lot of this is just to scare the public.
Population control.
Yeah.
Fear mongering. And then, of course, they're probably letting the crazies just do their stuff, making the world a little less populated. You really think that these people are going to want to survive after they kill all those people? Of course not. That's why they kill themselves, because they don't want to go through the court system.
Yeah, and well, then you got the ones that are coward that they'll kill all those people, and then they want the cops to kill them.
Yeah,
because they can't kill themselves. Because a lot of times it's a religious thing. They don't want to do suicide because it's against the Bible.
But so is murder.
Yeah, I know. But you can be forgiven. Yeah, it all plays into religion too sometimes. It's like, well, I can kill all these people, ask for absolution, but if I kill myself, I can't ask for absolution on that.
I do an Endora too.
Hey, Endora. Oh, you live in Battle Creek?
Yeah. How far is that from you?
A few times.
So, I mean, the point is, if they are indeed going to be releasing this report in the summer from the U.S. Navy, How do you think the majority of the people in the United States and the world are going to take it?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
And when they released a report about the confirmed UFO information
Oh,
this summer, how do you think the majority of the world is going to take it?
I don't think it's going to really change. Yeah, I mean, because you've got your UFO nuts that stand out there and they do their thing. Then you got like people like me and you that have always believed
Right.
that there was life, outside our planet.
Right.
And then you're always still going to have the people that are skeptical that, even if they put out a report, they're going
Right.
to say
Because you
it's
got
fake.
people who didn't even believe we even went to the moon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard so many conspiracies about that. That there's not even really a moon. It's just like almost like a projector, that they put up into the sky and stuff like that. I mean, there's people can take things and twist it so many different ways.
Well, we know there's a moon. There definitely is a moon. I've even heard that we even have a fake sun because the real sun died years ago.
I know. I mean, anything's possible. That's kind of how I live my life. Anything's possible. And then until, someone can actually show me physical proof, I can't really say yes or no on anything.
Right. That's why, for example, that's why Missouri is called the Show Me State. Show me the proof.
Mm-hmm.
Not on TV because that can be Photoshop. Show it to me in real life. Show it to me. Let me go see it. Let me go touch it with my own fingers.
Right. And you know what? It's another thing is that because they have like all these movies that you can do CGI and stuff with now, it makes some of those theories a little bit more believable.
Right.
So, I mean, as we progress, we kind of, get a little bit more doubt in our society.
Right. It's just like look at the background here. I'm showing you here. I mean, that's a real street. But you know what? What if I decided to change the background into some fantasy thing where you're seeing spaceships in space with the same resolution and same quality picture? Would you really know the difference? You ever
Right.
think? Anybody would even think I'm in space?
I mean, to a newcomer, that's true. They could be like, "Whoa, are you actually on a spaceship?"
Some people might actually think is, do you really have a window that big right behind you? No, I don't. That's just a piece of green cloth behind me, and I'm just taking the live action shots from my window in my living room.
Oh, the picture is very clear today.
Yeah, I worked on the focus a bit to make it a little bit better because my eyes are getting a lot better with the eye drops. So I'm gonna have to buy some more soon. But basically, the Can-C eye drops do have days when they really does make my right eye really work really well, and then some days my right eye just struggles. Right now, it's kind of in the middle stage. But right now, my left eye is clear, which is good. That's my main eye. So, you know, I don't know. There's just a lot of interesting things about how science. Like Mark Twain said, the problem with advanced science is you can't distinguish. Actually, was it Mark Twain or was it George or was it one of the other writers that said that technology sometimes cannot be distinguished separately from magic. I forgot who said that. But the thing is you think about it. If you look at my window, you might think I got this huge, like, big picture window behind me. And then when you actually see the studio, you're like, where's the picture window? I don't have one.
Yeah.
I got a piece of green cloth behind me. Wait, what? That's your picture window? Let's see what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't know, let me switch this the other camera on here so you can see this. There's me. That's me. So you can see, this camera here is the one that doesn't have the color correction enabled, but you still see the same green screen. That's another reason I want to go back to white, because if we go back to white, the colors will be normal. Maybe. Hey, camera, can you focus on that? Oh, that's right, because the microwave balance is on. Okay, anyway, the point. All right, so you get the idea. I mean, so this is. So when you turn this on, though, all of a sudden you got this perfect illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure that. How does that work? I don't know. Just does. You know? So, yeah. And then, of course, somebody said, oh, that actually came up with CGI in the 1970s to do the moon landing. First of all, in the 1970s, CGI didn't even exist.
Right.
All right. And second of all, the kind of effects you're talking about on doing on a soundstage doesn't overcome the issue of gravity. Mythbusters debunked that myth. They said, and they went and they sell the real moon surface and the real moon materials. And they even, got into an Earth, an atmospheric environment in a NASA test facility, simulating the moon's lack of an atmosphere and trying to unfoil an aluminium flag that was used on the moon. And except, of course, it looks like it's waving because it's not going to move at all. But the video makes it look like it's moving, but it's not, because it's stiff. It's a stiff, it's just like you shaved it. So I mean, the point I'm trying to say is that the whole argument about the moon landing being fake makes no sense.
Right.
But you never know what's going to happen with the issue, like when we finally go to Mars. Someone's going to say the same thing. But then we have technology to fake it. In fact, don't you think they do that on sound sets already to make Martian movies? Of course they do. I mean, they use the real background shots from the orbiters and things like that. And then you got actors in green screens, doing the same thing, walking on or simulated Martian surface. Now we can do that. But back then we couldn't do it because it wasn't available.
Right.
I mean,
you're absolutely right.
Or so today's technology is so affordable that even average teenager with a computer learning OBS could do the same thing. For example, I can change my room right here in the game so that now my room, I'll just turn this on. I can now I can switch it here and poof, there I am. New place. Could you tell the difference? Am I really there in Silvermoon or am I not? If you didn't see me transition the shot, you probably wouldn't know. That's the power of technology right there. That's what technology can do good and do bad.
Well, I don't know. Ira makes a good point. He said 2001, A Space Odyssey, 1968 movie filmed realistic space shots and anti-gravity shots without CGI.
Right, they did. Right. The anti-gravity was because the characters were wearing wires. They were too small for the cameras to see clearly. Or they could even tilt the cameras to turn the cameras around and change the position. For example, that's not hard to do. Well, I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about when they say that. Because the one camera that's the most easy way to do it with right now, without being a too much of a pain in the neck, is this one. Here I am. I'm going to turn it to me. I'm now going to go into space. See? I'm floating. That's all I did. A lot of the shots were done just like that. And we think that's, of course, that's with a little tiny camera. But imagine, of course, you're dealing with a big, giant Panavision film camera with big 35 millimeter reels of film. This is a camera right here. Oh, this is the scene camera's in the one there. That's on the wall. That's the scene camera's the one I'm holding. So, except that's on the wall. I'm not going to take that off the wall to do that. But still, you get the point. Just a very interesting idea of what they can do with technology. Soundboards. Oh yeah, you also got audio shopping of people's voices too, which is something that's kind of neat. In other words, I could use a computer that can make me sound like any voice I want to be. If I want to sound like Katharine Hepburn, software to do that.
Yeah.
They can translate my voice in real time into anyone else's voice.
Yeah. There's actually apps to morph yourself on celebrities' bodies, and it looks so real.
Yeah, I know. And in fact, you can see what I'm at. Which means is, how can you be sure anything's really real anymore unless you actually physically see it with your own eyes in person?
Right.
Yeah, it was. And don't forget that even about 10 years, about 8 years, about 9 years later, we had Star Wars, 1977, right? Lucasfilms. Think about that. How did they do that? Besides a lot of models and things like that.
A lot of wires.
A lot of wires. The space scenes were done with models against a star background. They were just being supported by a line that was probably thinner than fishing line. They were only small little models. They weren't big models. And the explosions were done using basically a firecracker. That doesn't sound too practical, but that's the way they do things in those days for movies.
How did they do the laser shooting?
Oh, that's just basically taking pictures of light bulbs and just just imaging. Like, you ever notice like the faces in Star Trek are so straight? Well, because it's basically just taking a piece of like colored light and making a line of light, projecting a line of light onto the shot. That was done usually at post-production. So, it's just a lot of interesting technology that was done. But the thing is today it's accessible to everybody.
Right. It definitely is.
Remember robot voice that could go on the show?
Yeah.
Well, that robot voice is pretty basic because you can hear some robot voices that are even really doggone indistinguishable from real people. That person used a robot's voice that was designed to be clearly mechanical.
Right.
But
yeah, technology has come a long way.
Right. So, that's the whole point of technology, is that we have gotten to the point where we can do things that if you brought somebody from, say, after they seen the moon landing, and you bring them forward to 2020, and I sat him in front of my studio and my lights and my computer and my optical effects and my character tricks I can do, he probably would think I'm some kind of a sorceress. Because that technology would have been very difficult to do in his time.
Right.
So let's see how we're doing on the show here. Well, first of all, I don't see no snow on the ground. I don't either. I don't see anything on the signs either. And the signs are metal. You would think it would have been snow. It wouldn't have started sticking to the metal. Right now we have currently 8 people with 12 likes.
Yeah, it's kind of a very chill show today. My energy level is down. And in fact, I got to jump off here, Michelle. I got a few things to do.
Right.
So, but
it's almost time to wrap it up anyway, because it's been a slow day today. I mean, so the thing is what did you think, real quick, what did you think of last night's show? What stood out the most to you in positive and negative about the show?
I think, well, the beginning was rough.
Right.
Sure. But, I mean, once that mellowed out, I think it went really well. The caller was great. That we had a lot of chat interaction, which I think, has gotten a lot better,
Right.
with you interacting with the chat, which is going to bring in more people in your that are going to chat in your chat. If they feel part of the show, then they're going to want to put their opinions out there and make their
Unfortunately, I lost the link to Cyrex's chat stream. I was going to watch it. I didn't get a chance to.
All it was him sending insults at you, and it wasn't anything of content or anything that would be of interest to you. I mean, I watched it. It was just a bunch of just insults, and then he dropped your link telling people to come over here to attack you, which worked opposite for him because the people he sent over actually subbed you up and were nice. So
right. Well,
so I mean that just goes to
anybody
show you
sees
that,
Cyrex, tell him thank you.
Serious. Yeah, nobody takes that guy serious, and it was in your benefit and not his.
How many people in this chat were actually defending me publicly on his chat?
I don't know. I know I went over there and said something.
I actually would love to see what his chat looked like when he started saying all that. I wonder what they were saying to him about that. Like, you're nuts.
I think it's usually his chat is usually they kind of they don't really even go along with the stuff that he's saying. They're just basically saying that he's I don't know. They just troll him, I guess is the best term to use there. Because they just know everything that comes out of his. I mean, he's just a foul human being.
Right. Yeah. I don't understand how he got to be like he is, but I feel bad for him. I think some of it clearly was environmental. And I'm not the kind of person that holds, I don't have anything really bad to say about him. Maybe someday he'll understand that I don't really personally want to attack anybody. I just want to find peace for everybody if I can.
Yeah. Well, like I've noticed with him, he lives in his own reality, and his own reality is based on delusions of basically that he's like this important guy that has this stuff together, and it's exactly the opposite. He has a lot of growing up to do.
By the way, I'm thinking about reviewing a program from a Mac called Audio Hijack. The thing with it is it's a shareware program, and until you actually register it, you can't even do much with it. So they want $69 to register it, and I'm like, gee, I could almost afford that, but I wish they would actually made it a little more, give us a little more time to actually see what the thing does.
So that was Tyler who called you yesterday. Yeah, that's the reason why he was brought up yesterday out on the wire. A caller called up trolling Michelle, saying that, he's mad at Michelle for talking bad about him, and he wasn't even a topic. It was because of what the caller said.
As far as I know, he's never really even actually been here to talk with me.
No, I don't think so.
So I'm so confused. When did Sarah start beefing with you? I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, she
way
might
down
have made
below,
a comment
you
like a
really
year
should
or
just
so.
look at the video yourself. You're into locales anyway, so here's the perfect locale. In fact, you're the one who introduced me to Cyrex indirectly, so here's your locale right there.
Yeah, he's
really wouldn't be a bad thing, Michelle. You can put smart circles around him, and he deserves to get dragged by you. He's seriously a bad guy. I don't like to be around bad people. It's just like my character in World of Warcraft. I don't like to be around. I don't want to be one of the bad guys. And really, that's why in the game I don't win. That's one of the reasons why playing the game takes so darn long, because I refuse to hurt other characters in the game. I refuse to go PvP and start killing other players.
Out on the wire, are you talking about in his video or his stream he did yesterday? Michelle wasn't the one who said that about him, I don't think. I think somebody said something in the chat, and Monica read it about him not having shoulders, or no, it might have been the caller who said something. Right. I forget. But I don't think it was Michelle that really said anything about him.
The only thing I said it was about his mouth, which I will not deny. I said it does look like a sea lamprey. Especially those teeth, okay? I'll be honest. Do they curve inward too? I mean, because like if you know how a sea lamprey eats, it's like a conveyor belt of sharp, pointy things that go ahead and just grab onto the fish and just rip the skin right off, like a big saw, hole saw. But seriously, if a hole saw worked the same way the sea lamprey eating, you'd be having sawdust coming out the other end.
He does kind of look like that one guy from The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, way down below. I actually said that to a friend of mine. I said, look, if you're looking to drum up some content for your channel and he doesn't mind the drama, I said, why don't you go feud with Cyrex? I said, because you'll get a good crowd in there.
Yeah. Well, anyway, either way, guys, let me be honest. Where the weather goes and stimulus bills go, I'm gonna try to keep out what's going on with the stimulus, because I think, oh yeah, court packing. Somehow I don't know why the Democrats think that they're going to get away with it, because even Nancy Pelosi said that she's not even thinking about passing the bill for court packing right now. They want to pack the Supreme Court with more justices.
Oh, Lord.
Because they don't like the fact that there's too many Republicans and not enough Democrats. I know. I think it's stupid. He doesn't look like
the guy. He is the guy. That's funny.
1,000 new subs.
I think he looks like the new version of Rat Boy.
Yeah, but I don't want it to go after people like that. I'm not one of the Me Too drama channels. I don't want to go there. Okay.
Yeah, I think they know that, Michelle. They're just kind of hypothetically speaking, if you did. But I think they know that you wouldn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, Monday and Tuesday and maybe Wednesday we might be able to do a morning show on the porch.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, because the night show could be done on the porch too, but they wouldn't be able to take any phone calls. No, well, there would be if you use Google Live. I have enough trouble just trying to figure out how to use his little trackpad right now. Never mind trying to constantly try to reach up and keep answering the phone.
All right, Michelle, I'm gonna go. I'll see you tonight.
All right, let's see. I'll send you a new link for tonight's show. It'll be different.
All right, bye everybody in chat.
Okay, bye. Okay, so so we have to come up with new unpublished chat links every show because of what was going on, and so I'm looking forward to getting the computer up, and it should be working fine. Prototype and in prototypical testing, it looks like it's working pretty good. I do want to get audio hijack paid for because I do think it's worth it. I mean, it's got a couple features in it I really don't need, but there's a couple features I could really benefit from. For example, right now, what my real mixer does is it lets me send sound back to my ears so that even I can hear myself talk and I don't feel like someone shoved cotton in my ears. I can still hear me and I can still hear the callers. Whereas with the audio right now, way it's set up on the Mac, I can't even hear myself through the earphones. I can hear myself because the earphones are not soundproof. But that also has an advantage because then I don't have to worry about getting an echo situation started where my voice is echoed 50 million times. But yeah, I mean, the laptop is as good as ready for a morning show as possible. It'll be a whole new experience because it won't be the same setup as it is here. It'll be similar. We're still going to have the chats on the screen. We're still going to have the little notifications of donations. That's set up because I copied those information from this computer. And though we don't have the intro and outro screens. And we did not install CamTwist on that one. We just have OBS. We don't have CamTwist at all on that one. So that was kind of a cheap shot. I actually am so used to having a mechanical mixer board that I wasn't thinking about buying a smaller one, like a Behringer Q502 mixer, USB based, so I can plug it in and still get good sound that way. Versus the government I can see that work now. Oh yeah, that's the other reason I got to test. I got to see a boot camp will work on that computer. So I'm gonna take my boot camp hard drive, which is sitting on the shelf in the kitchen, put it into an external case, plug in a USB cable, and see if I can access the model viewer and maybe even play World of Warcraft to see if the laptop works for World of Warcraft both on the Mac and under Windows. Yeah. Or if you can get yourself that DisplayPort cable that's coming from China, plug that in and plug it into your monitor that's sitting in the kitchen. Yeah, then you can actually have a nice big screen. It's another idea. All right, guys. It's Michelle. Sorry, saying that. I wouldn't want to write with that pen anyway. All right, guys. Listen, I'm going to let you go. Please be careful out there. I don't see any snow sticking here on the ground. It is wet. Let me just check the weather real quick. Let me ask Siri. What is the weather in Winston, Connecticut?
It's currently raining and 4 degrees in Winston, Connecticut.
3 to 4 degrees short of going to 0, and then you got ice. Be careful, guys. It's cloudy right now. It's showers. I don't see any snow showing up here. So I think they kind of wash out so far for us. Friday will be 70% chance of rain, a high of low 5, low of 3. Saturday, 10% chance of rain, high of 11, low of 2. Sunday, which I don't do a show, 10% chance of rain, a high of 15, a low of 2. Monday, 20% chance of precipitation, a high of 16, a low of 4. All these days actually show overcast. Let's see. Let's try to scroll. Let's go to scroll down. Where's my cursor? There it is. On Monday, we have a show, 20% chance of precipitation. As I said, a high of 16, a low 4. Tuesday, 21 degrees, a high of 10% chance of precipitation, high of 21, a low 7. Wednesday, it's going to be cooling down again, 50% chance of precipitation. We'll see rain, a high of 13, a low of 1. So I don't see a really major, warming trend, but it looks Tuesday, maybe Monday, maybe even Wednesday might be possible for an outdoor show. That's all I can tell you right now. So we'll have to see what happens. Very underrated. Puts quite a show. Right. All right, guys. So for now, please be careful out there. Yeah, I could go to Soup Kitchen, but I'm not gonna go to Soup Kitchen. I got 2 frozen pizzas that I can make for dinner, so I'll probably just have that instead. But for now, I'll see you later. Stay out of trouble, and see you tonight at 7 o'clock. Bye bye, everybody.